right, this first circuit is going to start with plank to push-up for 10 repetitions. So I start in a prone plank position with my elbows directly underneath my shoulders, and I'm just going to walk myself up to my hands in the push-up position and then walk right back down. Next, I'm going into a scorpion stretch, which is another prone stretch where I basically rotate my hip open, aiming my foot to the floor. So opposite foot aiming towards opposite hand. This is going to open up for a good shoulder stretch. And I'm doing this for 10 repetitions total. For the second round, I'm going to go right back to plank to push-up. Another set of 10, again starting in the prone plank position. Spine neutral, abs activated, walking up toward the hand and back down toward the elbow. Up, down is 1 repetition, and I'm going for 10 repetitions altogether. This can also be done from the knees if modification needed. All right, 10 repetitions there, and now going back to the scorpion stretch again, arms spread wide. Rotate to open the hips and bring the foot towards the opposite hand. Trying to keep the palms down on the ground. 10 repetitions all together. The next 3 exercises are going to start with get-ups as the first exercise. And just like it sounds, I'm going to have an object in my hands. Here I'm using a medicine ball. Start from completely flat on the back from the ground and basically get up to standing position. So I'm going for 10 repetitions. Since I'm doing 10 repetitions, I will do 5 with the object in one hand, and then I will trade out to 5 with the object in the other hand. As you're getting up from the ground, you're using your core to get to a position where you can use your hand to push off. In some cases, certain people may not have to use the hand to push off. There's a Chloe cat. And as you can see, there are differences between the object being on the right side of the body and on the left side of the body. You may find one side to be just a little easier than the other with getting up. You could treat this like a Turkish get up and go through the same progression that way from the ground to standing if you'd like, or just get up by any means necessary as long as you don't crank on your knees. The second exercise in this combo is a cross-body lunge. So these can be done with or without weight, but with that cross-body lunge, you're basically stepping back into a reverse lunge with your back leg going past the midline of your body. But your goal is to keep your shoulders and your hips square. As I'm loading into and out of my left hip here, that is where my weight is distributed, in that leg that's in the front of the body. So here now, I'm doing 10 repetitions into my right hip, out of my right hip. The back leg just steps back at an angle. However, I am loading my body weight into my right hip and out of my right hip. Again, goal is to try to keep your shoulders and hips as square as you can. All right, the next exercise in this little trio, this is our timed exercise, will be 30 seconds worth of jumping jacks. All right, 30 seconds of jumping jacks are over. And I'm going to repeat the same thing with the get-ups. But here I'm showing you guys, you don't always have to have, again, dumbbells and fancy medicine balls and things like that at home. If you want, here I'm showing you how to utilize just a random object in the house for weight. So I have my my oldest backpack, and I'm putting my weight inside the backpack. If you don't have a medicine ball, you can load up a backpack, a bag. You can use a sack of flour as long as it's completely closed and you won't spill anything. But, you know, again, just get creative with using what you have at home. So I can execute the exercise the same exact way, holding one object in one hand, starting from the ground, using my core to stand up, pushing off the hand, getting to the feet, my feet underneath me into the standing position. Same exact mechanics here. All I'm doing is using what I have. So if all you have is a backpack, load it up with maybe a bunch of socks or whatever object you have at home that you're able to, to use. And you can get creative with as heavy as you want or with what object you want, as long as you just, don't hurt yourself. So again, 10 repetitions of get-ups. This one takes a lot of core to get off the ground. And that's my cat messing with the camera. Then I'm going back into my second round of crossbody lunges, just shown here at a different angle. Again, trying to square off shoulders and hips. And then I'm stepping back at an angle, again, loading the lead leg into that hip and out of that hip, into the hip and out of the hip, using my glutes to stand up or to drive myself in hip extension. Switching to the other side. Step back lunges and crossbody lunges are great for people with knee issues because you're teaching yourself to load backside instead of into the knee. All right, and then back to 30 seconds of jumping jacks. All right, now moving into the meat and potatoes of this workout. I'm going right into the first leg exercise, which is dumbbell squats for 15 reps. So grab the weight in my hands. Imagine a chair sitting right behind me, and I'm aiming for that chair. I'm reaching back with my hips, and then I'm coming back up tall, extending my hips back open. I'm not letting my knees forcibly go over my toes, but I'm keeping my feet down, my heels are down, and my chest is up. All right, the superset in between, it's going to be dumbbell taps with the foot. Going 30 seconds, just a light little tap with the dumbbell on the floor. Again, whatever you're utilizing at home, if you have water bottles or cans of soup, you want to go nice and light with the foot. Keep most of your weight on the back foot instead of the foot that's on the object. You don't want to send it flying or yourself flying. So there are 30 seconds there. I take a breather and I'm going to start right back into my second set of dumbbell squats. Again, here I'm only taking about, I'd say 30 seconds or less in between my sets, depending on your fitness level and what you're trying to achieve. You may take 60 seconds in between before you start your second round, up to even 90 seconds if needed. So second round of 15 squats. Flexion in the hips and the knees. and then extension through both joints as well. And back again to the superset, dumbbell taps for 30 seconds. These little in-betweeners are just additional exercises to have more of an active rest period versus a passive rest period. Keeps the heart rate up and going. And then finishing up with a third and final set of 15 dumbbell squats, immediately followed by the taps. So again, 30 seconds on the taps. I'll take a quick break and then move to the next major exercise. So these circuits contain a major leg, a major push, and a major pull. So we just wrapped up 3 sets of the major leg exercise, which was a dumbbell squat. Now we're going to move on to dumbbell reverse fly, 10 repetitions here. So kind of like the bent over row, I'm going to start in a hinge position with my hips back and my abs engaged. And neck muscles relaxed, but I'm focusing here on squeezing my shoulder blades together, keeping my elbows bent or hinged the entire time. All right, my in-betweener here is going to be a core exercise called little bigs. We're going 30 seconds. I'm starting little tucked in to elongated or big, the elongated position. And my goal here is just to reach out long, come back in. All while trying to make sure that I keep my lower back pressed into the floor. And again, 30 seconds here. Taking another little breather. Back again on the second round here. So again, my elbows are bent and they stay fixed at that point. The primary mover here is at the shoulder joint where, again, I'm squeezing my shoulder blades together, opening up my chest, and then controlling the weight back in. So 10 reps there, followed by another round of little bigs for 30 seconds. There's Chloe again trying to join me in the exercise. So looks like so much fun. All right, and third and final round, showing you a frontal view here of 10 reverse flies. Once again, elbows bent, hinged at the waist, squeeze the shoulder blades, controlling the way back in. Ten reps done. And my final set of little bigs. Tuck in, elongate, close in. Elongate and close in. If you are a person that has low back issues or has a hard time controlling that pelvic tilt, then you can try aiming your legs at a higher angle, which should help rotate the pelvis back so that it's not pulling on your low back. You may also use an object in your hands for a little step up in this. So weighted dumbbell, medicine ball, what have you. All right, final major, going with now a press. Reverse flies or a pull. So we're doing dumbbell floor press here for 10 repetitions. Just set yourself up with your dumbbells. You lay back to the floor. All right, knees are bent to keep your low back pressed into the ground. Starting with the dumbbells over chest level, not over your neck or face. You're going to lower for about a count of 3 approximately, punch up for a count of 1. Keep those knuckles turned up towards the ceiling. Elbows do not flare way out to the sides of the body. You want to kind of keep it about a 45-degree angle between the side of your torso, but not flare way out away from you. Once I've completed 10 repetitions here, now I'm going to Russian twist. Again, use whatever object that you might have. Here I'm choosing to use the dumbbell. You can use the medicine ball. You can, again, you can go without and just use body weight. It all depends on what you have in your home. And I'm doing this for 30 seconds. There is the option to sit back further with feet off the ground. In this case, I choose not to execute it that way, me personally, because I'm pretty lordotic and it pulls on my low back when I do that. Either way, feet down or feet up, you're still going to work your obliques, which is what that exercise is designed for. Again, a quick breather. I'm going to grab my weights again, lay back, and then proceed. If you can tell from this side view, particularly in this set, my hands are not completely pronated or turned facing down. They also are not completely turned in towards my sides or hammer grip. I have essentially an in-between position with my hands. How you choose to position your hands, either pronated, completely hammer grip, or angle like I do, is a personal preference. If you are a person who tends to have shoulder issues, hammer grip is going to be a little more neutral and generally a little more shoulder friendly. Once again, second set of Russian twists, 30 seconds. Focusing on sitting up nice and straight. Rotating through the torso, not just moving my arms, but actually rotating through the torso. Here I'm taking a breather before I start the final or third set. So again, final set of floor press for 10 repetitions. followed by final set of Russian twist for 30 seconds. Active rest.